So let's talk about YouTube studios and YouTube backdrops for a second. I put on the purple light because I've been watching a lot of Gerald Undone videos and it has influenced me. But let's take a look real quick at what a lot of YouTubers do, especially when they've been on for a while, when it comes to curating their look. Not everybody does this. Some people do it more natural. Some people go a little more industrial. But what I like is kind of a mix of both. I would say some of what I do for work spills in a lot to the type of content that I like making. I love cameras, but cameras is not what I do for work. It's a hobby, and it's a hobby that I love a lot. But you can see from at least this backdrop here why the channel is called Camera Tactics. I work a lot in the defense industry. Not only for my day job, but for a side business that I run. And so with that comes a lot of gear, much like camera gear. I want to talk about several different kinds of YouTube backdrops that I have seen personally on YouTube over the years. Starting off with this one. This is a wide setup. I'm using a 24mm 1.4 lens. And so I have that camera pretty close to me, and I don't have that much space between me and the wall, but I wanted to have a little bit of separation between me and what's going on back there. So this is more of a wide YouTube studio. I use this every once in a while for work, and for me it works really well, and I really like being able to display things that I do and certain things that we sell. But I don't always want to have a wide open backdrop for my videos. I do think this gives a little more of a professional look for sure, but sometimes I want a more personal setup, and so I will move you guys over to my home setup. And look at this, it's a lot more personal, I would say, when you're in somebody's like little office space versus a wider, big at-work setup. This is just my desk at home, and I've built it in a way that obviously shows off some of my stuff, which is very similar to my office setup. Now, you don't always have to use a very wide lens, kind of like the 24mm. I would say you could even go with an 85mm. All right, this is a wild focal length. I don't think people really would go for this kind of a YouTube backdrop. Hey, come here. Focal length, because you have to be a lot farther away from the camera. I would say this is a lot more conducive to an interview documentary style of backdrop for a channel. Also, I think you'd have to have a much larger room to make this work. I am way farther away from the desk now than I was just right up next to it. Hey, making a video. But then again, this might be your look. This might be what you're going for. Let's say you talk about filing cabinets as a YouTube channel. Could work. Maybe you have a dog channel and this is what you need to do to show off the kinds of things you do with your dog. So I don't know, could work. Let's switch to a 70 to 200mm and see it just a little more punch in. Okay, talk about a talking head video. Again, I've got my dog here, so if I'm playing around. If you want to go with a very tight shot, yeah, sure, 70 to 200mm, pick your range. You still have to be a little bit farther away to even make this work. I'm like on my knees here in my room. Again though, depends what you're going for. If you want a very close and personal, lots of separation, there's me and there's like blurriness behind me. You can do this. Now I'm gonna cycle through a couple of the, come on. I'm gonna cycle through a couple of the different backdrops that I've done over the couple of years that I've been making videos, and you're gonna kind of see how much it changes. You know, in this backdrop here, I was literally just out in the mountains, and I decided to make a little studio with some Pelican cases and other things I had. I also had to string up some lights up in the trees to make this work. And so that was a very interesting and unique way to set up the studio per se for that video. Here we have another one where I literally just tried to make it look like I was around a campfire. And I thought it was really cool. It gave off the vibe that I wanted to give off for that video. And that one was a lot more personal of a type of setting. Going through all of these older videos and seeing just the kinds of ways I tried to portray the video I wanted to make, it's just really fun to see. And it's just, I think the main thing is when you want to make it your own, try to stick to one that you can be consistent with. That's probably the name of the game, and that's what's the hardest thing for most new YouTubers, kind of like me. So now, after looking at some of the other setups like at the home or out and about, I do have one final thing to say about the look and the style of what you're going for, and that it's not necessary at all. You don't necessarily have to have a super cool backdrop with a lot of gear to show off to try to gain some kind of authority or clout. It's not necessary, but it's fun, and I do recommend people mess with it, but you don't need it. What matters is what you say and what you have to share with the world. Not everything has to be curated and professional. Many a YouTuber out there, and I hope to be one of them, can be successful because of the things they share. So, that being said, I'm glad you clicked on this video. I will be making videos as often as I possibly can. I just got a new lens. This is a 24mm Sony, no, it's not a Sony, it's a Sigma 24mm 1.4 lens, and so far I'm really loving it. So that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.